Oh. So new box day has finally arrived, which means we've been granted access to a ton of new support for everyone's second favourite, Discount Decklist. I'm afraid Kite's going to have to take the crown on that one. And after a reasonably successful box opening... Ooh, that's a fat find! Let's go, okay. I guess we reset whenever we find Crimson now. Show me a tuning. Finish it off with a tuning. Oh, just give me a... Did I get 3 SR sales? Give me Resonator Call. I have access to all the new support required for a full power Red Nova Dragon deck. And before I get into the list, just a friendly reminder that if you do enjoy the content you're watching and would like to see more, to please consider subscribing to the channel down below. It's completely free and you can unsub at any time. Alright, so what new support have we been given? Well, for starters, we've been given a really powerful new skill, Demon's Resonance. By revealing one Resonator in your hand, you can return one card from your hand back into the deck to search for one level 4 or lower Fiend type monster, but you cannot activate the effect of that card during the turn you use the skill. You can use this skill twice per duel. Now this skill is extremely strong, as first of all, it allows you to search for Wandering King Wildwind, who if you control a Fiend type tuner monster with 1500 or less attack, you can special summon it. By the way, this skill doesn't prevent you doing this on the turn you search it. Additionally, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard to add one Fiend type tuner monster from deck to hand. And as you'll see from the gameplay where I showcase the deck's combos, this card is one of the 2 main pieces you need, so having a skill that can search it at any time is pretty good. On top of that, we are running a couple of other cards you'll be searching for with the skill. Meister, who is a fantastic graveyard negation hand trap, that is something you'll probably search for whenever you see a Kyber player, as this card will negate any pesky stone in the grave. And Doomcaliber Knight. Cannot be special summoned. If a monster effect is activated, quick effect, tribute this face-up card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. Now keep in mind this card's negation is mandatory, so as soon as your opponent or you activate an effect, this card will negate it. As you'll see in the gameplay, this card comes up a lot as it's part of the main opener you're looking for when you're going first. Then the list has 3 new cards. Resonator Call is a very simple spell card. Add 1 Resonator monster from your deck to your hand, and keep in mind this is not a once per turn effect. Crimson Resonator is your new Resonator monster. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If the only other monster you control is exactly 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, except itself. And the final new addition is Red Nova Dragon. This card gains 500 attack for each tuner monster in your graveyard. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target the attacking monster, banish this card, and if you do, negate the attack. During the next end phase, special summon this card that was banished by this effect. The rest of the deck list is just all old stuff most of you guys have seen before, so I won't go through that here. Alright guys, that's it for the deck list portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay with commentary showcasing each of the combos and openers this deck can go for. Remember, if you guys do enjoy the video, to please consider dropping a like down below, and whilst you're down there, subscribing to the channel. Enjoy the gameplay. Alright, let's get into it. So this deck's win rate overall was 71%, which is pretty good. I played 14 games of the deck and won 10 of them. Unfortunately though, even though I did play 14 games with this deck, it was really hard for me to get really good replays from it, as a lot of the time your opponent will just concede versus it. Going second, it's an OTK deck, so they see you're starting your combo, they just concede. Going first, you're either summoning a boss monster, which they just cannot out, or you're summoning a negate which they can't play through, so it's a lot of conceding going on. But these replays should show off at least what the starters for your deck are and how the combos work. So this replay specifically is trying to summon Red Nova Dragon. I see what my opponent is playing. He is playing, you know, that, I forgot the name of the card. Whatever the card is on this sleeve in this man. And that card alone really can't out a big indestructible monster. And unless they're running something like Bryanak as a level 6 in their deck, they don't run any kind of removal. Book of Moon is probably this guy's only out, so it's pretty safe to summon Red Nova Dragon, and he just won't be able to win the game from there. Also, because of the starting hand I've got, I can't actually summon the negate start, which I'll show later on in one of the other replays. So this is just the best start I've got. So we're using our Resonator's Calls, we're going to get 2 tuners in hand. Then we're going to use Demon's Resonance to add our Wildwind to hand. Now that we've got these 2 monsters, we can now special summon without actually using our normal summon for the turn. So we special summon Resonator, special summon out Wildwind, synchro summon into Red Rising. Red Rising will special summon back from the grave. Resonator can then special summon the other Resonator from deck. Resonator, when special summoned, can then target a card on the board and gain life points equal to the attack. So 2100. Then summoning out Red Dragon Archfiend. I have such like a pet peeve with this animation. That tail. I point out every replay, that tail is really nothing like the art. It's super short in the animation and really pixelated. But anyway, so because we haven't used our normal summon for the turn yet, we can then normal summon our second tuner. And now we have the Red Dragon Archfiend and the 2 tuners on board to summon Nova. Which I thought would have an animation, but apparently it just does not. And there's Nova. And this is about the time when my opponent realizes, oh, my deck actually doesn't have an out to it, and he concedes instantly. So not a very great replay, but that was just to show the Nova start. Alright, I think I'll save this replay for last. This is one of the spicier replays. Then I'll get the shittier, just to show off start replays out the way first. Yeah, that was very good English, Harry. Good job. Alright, so this was another shooting star player. He actually got to get his combo off this time, to be fair, before conceding, so there's that. Shooting star has been very popular since the tuning got released today, so there are a lot of replays that are against this deck. Alright, very standard combo. For some reason he has Harmonies in the deck. I don't know what's going on there. Skip over his turn real quick. I might do another Shooting Star Dragon video, by the way, for you guys. Now that we've got tuning released. That'll be either tomorrow or later on in the week. Alright, so once again, we're getting the 2 cards in hand that allow us to special summon without doing a normal summon for the turn. But this time, we're not going for Red Nova Dragon, because he has a monster on board that if we swing in, this can banish itself and negate the attack. So even if we summoned a big boss monster, we can't actually beat over this. We have to remove it. So, special summon, synchro summon, Red Rising, special summon back. Same combo as before, or same start. Special summon, Resonator from deck, gain some life points, gaining 3,300 because we targeted our opponent's monster this time. Then we're going to summon Dark End Dragon, which, as you guys know, can target something and send it to the grave. So even this card allows you to negate any kind of destruction effect, we're just going to send it, so we don't even destroy it. And it's gone. Then we can synchro summon higher, bring out Bane. And we haven't used our normal summon yet. So we're going to summon Resonator, special summon to level 4. Now, actually don't worry about that. Alright, then we summon Red Rising, which will give us a search. This is something back, and we can synchro summon again, but at this point, our opponent knows he's doomed, and he leaves the game. Alright. And this is the final of the replays that were kinda bad. This was against a Thunder Dragon player, I believe. He was playing Primo, so this guy's just trying to farm some gems, I reckon. And this shows the primary start for the deck you want to aim for. So Resonator Call, same start again. Generally, most games you will start with these two cards. This card just allows you to search the Resonator, and your skill allows you to search the Wildwind. So it's really hard not to open these two cards. So if you're wondering why every replay I'm just showing you this, it's not bullshit that I'm opening it, it's very common. This deck is insanely consistent. Red Rising, Special Summon back Resonator, Special Summon from deck, gain some life points. Red Archfiend. I'm going to summon Bane. You don't actually have to summon Bane here. I'm not really even sure why I summon Bane all the time, but you could just leave it at the RDA and the monster if you want to, but that's just, I don't know. I guess having 3,500 attacks better than having a 3,000 attack on board, and they can't kill off your tuner, I don't know. But this is the normal start I went for, so I'd summon Bane, and since I haven't used my skill yet, because I didn't actually need to search for the Wildwind, I can Demon's Resonance either into, if you're against a Blue Eyes player, you can search straight out the Meister to negate any graveyard effects, like the stones, or, which is the normal case, you can summon Doomcaliber Knight, or search for Doomcaliber Knight, who was a negate. Summon the Doomcaliber with our normal summon, and yeah, we now have our boss monster and a negate on board. Now if this guy was smart, he would have used this in the following turn, because this would have negated, or this effect is mandatory by the way, this card's negate is mandatory, so he could have used the Thunder Dragon in his turn to pop the Doomcaliber Knight and make it kill itself, but instead he used it during my turn. Maybe he thought this card's effect was already active, which it's not, it's not active because I've used my skill to search for it. So he does his normal thing, adds that to hand, then passes the turn. Tries to activate Hawk to special summon it back, Doomcaliber Knight goes off, negating it, and he had nothing else to do, he was doomed. Alright, now into the spicier replays. The replays where I actually got some gameplay without my opponent just conceding instantly. I really wish I got better replays. After playing 14 games, I really need to get to the editing part of the video today, so I had to stop. It's just the nature of this deck is so conceding. Alright, so this guy predicted what I was going to play based on the character I'm playing. It was pretty obvious what I was going to be playing, so he knew I'm a synchro focused deck, and what's a really good card into a synchro deck? Steelswarm Roach. So Roach, it can negate any special summon of a monster over level 5, which includes synchros. So I had to get rid of this card. So first things first, I search for a Meister because I know Onomats are fairly graveyard heavy in their playstyle, so I just set up this hand trap for later in case I need it. I would have searched for the Doomcaliber Knight, but I already had it in hand. So I normal summon a Doomcaliber Knight. I should have done this during the damage step, but it doesn't really matter. I Forbidden Lance his monster, reduces attack, so now my Doomcaliber Knight can just beat over it. And now I'm the one with the card on board where he can't play the game. And there's the monster that we had to try to play around. So if I didn't add Doomcaliber Knight and I beat over it with something else, he would have summoned this Gargar head, used effect, bring back some level 4s, and go full combo. But thankfully we have a negate on board, so if he can't use his monster effect without it being negated right now. So he just trades into it normally, hits me in the face, passes over. And now once again, we can basically full combo, because for some reason, they allowed this skill to be not a once per duel, which is really cool. So, Demon's Resonance, we get another search. And there it is, the same combo again. Resonator Special Summon, Wildwind Special Summon, Red Rising. Bring back the Resonator. Get a little bit of life points. Dark End Dragon, gonna be sending something away. Thank you, random car, for driving past. Alright, summon out Bane. Then we can do a second normal or actual normal summon. Summon out another Red Rising. Yeah, and there's our RDA. And it's by far lethal on board. And now there's sirens going past my house. Wow, you guys really are trying to ruin my replay, aren't you? Alright, swings in, and he's dead. If you think I'm re-recording this because there were sirens going past my house, I ain't doing shit. These replays take long enough to commentate over. I'm not restarting it just because of some goddamn sirens. Alright, so this is against a Fujin player, I think? I think I misplayed quite a few times in this. I'm not really sure where I misplayed, but I'm pretty sure I must have somewhere. It was a very awkward duel. So he's got a Fox in hand, which will send to the grave. So, just a bit of prefacing, if you don't know what Fox does, you can banish this from grave during my turn, and discard a card from hand, to basically mean I can't do damage to him that turn. So very good for Destiny Draw kind of players. Alright, once again, same opener. Luckily we've got a Forbidden Lance in hand, but unluckily, he's got 2 lots of back row. So one, he treacherouses, which we Forbidden Lance in response. This way we'd have the Resonator and the Monster Steel if we wanted to do that. Alright, so we're making an attempt to go into Red Rising and combo off again, but sadly, yeah, he has a Book of Moon. So we're in a very bad spot here, very bad. But this replay really shows how well this deck can recover, just because of how good the skill is. So he summons out his Uwu, his Susan Uwu. It's a Crane to hand, beware of that, we have to talk about that later. Destroys my entire board. I forgot this card can attack that many times. But now, we had no cards in hand, but we have the Wildwind in grave. So Wildwind can banish itself to search for a tuner, which it does, and if we didn't have the other Wildwind in hand, we literally could have used our skill to search for it anyway, and have the same opener once again. And we do it all over again. Now we only have one option here, and that is to go into Dark-Hand Dragon, because this card alone, with the Crane in hand, will be able to boost attack to 4800. That Crane is a hand trap for those that don't know. So he has a Crane in hand that will boost this to 4800 attack. I mean, he can just beat over anything I summon. To be fair, the Red Nova can beat over it, but we can't summon that. Dark End, gonna send it away. Now we could have gone higher here and summoned Bane, but we know that our opponent has the Fox Engrave, so we can't lethal him here anyway, and I don't want to swing into him just to give him a Destiny draw. So I decide I'm just going to do a little bit of damage to him. Oh, never mind. It was on this turn I must have decided that. Alright, Wildwind, add the Resonator, use our skill, to add Skullmeister. So Skullmeister's super good against this deck because he's got so many graveyard effects. He's got the protection one, he's got the target, destroy, plenty of graveyard effects to negate. To be fair, I can't use it on this turn though, so I can't actually negate the protection one on this turn. But I added it to hand for later. Yep, so I do 800 damage to him past the turn. I'm still not going to Synchro Summon higher because I can't kill him this turn. Even if I Synchro Summoned into Bane and then I use these two to summon into RDA, there is no actual lethally summoning here. There's no lethaling him. So we got the... I don't know why he summoned this card. He summoned Amaterasu, which is just a bad card. He should have just summoned another Susan Uwu. This card is so much better, but for some reason he summoned this card. Not the best of plays from him. He also then decided he just wasn't going to use his Quill. I guess he knew that I already had Skullmeister, or he just didn't care that there was still a tuner on board, or I don't know, he didn't use it anyway. So it meant that I had a lot of plays I could make. So I summoned out my Coral Dragon. I think I actually have no level 8s left in the extra deck here. I don't know, I do have an RDA. Either way. So I summon a Coral Dragon, discard a card, pop it, swing in for 800. He now chooses to use the Fox because he knows that I was going to swing in for 800, swing in for 24, and he'd be forced to use it then anyway, so played around Destiny Draw perfectly. He searches for a Turtle, sends Turtle to the grave. Turtle, it protects from targeting effects. In this case, doesn't matter because I just beat over it anyway. Now I've got a Doomcaliber Knight, and he was very dead. Alright, so that's the replays for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.